And what she saw and what she experienced was very, very visceral and very real for her. And this is how these memories can come through. This is what is in the stories are all through the book. They're laced through the book. And what she remembered was cold stone. And she was lying on her back and looking up and seeing this canopy of green. And she looked around her, and there were people standing all around this stone pallet that she was on. And she then saw this man standing next to her. And he was wearing this silver bracelet. And she saw that the man had a knife in his hand. And she proceeded to experience what could only be a horrific moment as he plunged the knife into her chest, opened her chest, brought her heart out, offered it to the gods, took a bite of it, and then offered it to the rest of the tribe. And she came out of that moment, and I brought everyone back to the room and after they experienced the experience. And she was sitting over there, and she just was sitting there, and I said, okay, let's go around, and we went around. And she explained what happened. And she, of course, came in, for a few sessions around this. But what she discovered was that the man who had that silver bracelet was the man that she lived with and loved. And this oftentimes can happen when you're working with deep karmic relationships and the connections that we have with other people. My husband and I have this ourselves. And she said that when she saw that silver bracelet, she said that he wore something very similar in this lifetime. And it absolutely spooked her. And she said a couple of things that evening, and as you read her story, there's something where she said, I said something and you said, well, I guess you won't go to South America unless you want to run from the plane, or something. And I just was casually using humor to diffuse the situation that was so charged for her in that moment. And she says, that's the only thing that got me through it that night. It was the only thing. And she laughed at the time, and she recognized all kinds of pieces about herself, about this person, about the things that she needed to learn as a result of this memory coming through. But the most interesting thing to me, because I'd done symptom work for myself for years because of the kundalini and everything, I had to constantly be working directly with my body. She was the first person that ever had her symptom completely go away within 4 months of this memory. She said that she took the deepest breath that she had ever taken in her life right after that memory surfaced. And she said it was like I was breathing for the first time. It was the first breath of my life. And her heart, she said, immediately settled down and just went down. And she said the biggest trigger for her over the next couple of months was her boyfriend. He would get this blank look on his face. And we always wondered about that, and I asked the energy that I work with, this Buddhist and Taoist energy and source that I've been connected to for so long. And they basically said that he had been on psychotropic plants because that was a part of the whole ritual that was going on. It was the only way that he could do this thing with this young girl, because she was before menses, and that was part of this. And she was moving towards menopause, and so there was this whole piece around all of that too that was really interesting. And so she just was able in that moment to have this memory come forth and to have it completely change her symptoms. And her symptoms went away and have never returned, and that was in 1991. And so that's the beauty of this transforming embodiment work that I created. It really has the ability to allow you to search for that original moment, to search for those origins, as well as searching through other things, and then taking those memories and transforming them at a very basic energetic level.